G'day humans, Chris Stead here. In today's video, I'm going to take you back to the Maldives and two of the resorts that I stayed in 2024 with my family. Two fantastic luxury resorts, St Regis Maldives and the Ritz Carlton Maldives. In this video, I'm going to try and work out for you which one you'll want to stay at. Let's go. Now, if you're familiar with my channel, you'll know that I've done a fair bit of content on the Maldives. So I took off there with my family in mid-2024, and we spent a month there. Went to 8 different resorts, of which you'll find detailed reviews, tours, and other information available all across the channel, including some of the rad experiences that we did while we were there. Now, I'm back in so-called sunny Sydney at the moment. It's actually been really, really nice here lately, but at the moment, it's a bit dire. But I thought, since we're speaking today about an island environment, I should at least try and set the scene. So, these two resorts are likely to be on a lot of your radars because you're using Marriott points or simply because you're looking for the most luxurious stays in the Maldives. These are both prestige places to stay. They cost a pretty penny and they offer fantastic experiences both. However, they offer very different experiences. And I do encourage you, after listening to this video and making a decision on what's right for you, to go and look at my longer in-depth tours to really get down to the nitty-gritty of each of those resorts. But we're going to just talk a little bit more in brief now about the differences between the two. Now, we'll start with one of the most interesting things between the two islands is that the St Regis is on a natural island, whereas the Ritz Carlton is a fully fabricated man-made island, which didn't exist prior to, I think, 2020. So there wasn't even land there. And then they've gone and they've built this entire island and then built the resort on top of the island. So that's going to flow into a lot of the things we're going to talk about when we do this comparison, because that is fundamental to the experiences of both. One, super natural, super organic, built into the natural environment. The other, purpose-built, every blade of grass, every kind of palm leaf, exactly where it's been designed to be to maximise your experience. I'm not saying there's a pro or a con to either, other than to say that people who work there certainly feel that they are one way or the other. But that's not the point. The point is just understanding that and what that means for the rest of what I'm about to say. Okay, so we'll start with the Ritz Carlton. So the Ritz Carlton, as I said, was built, it's built in the 2020s. So I think 2021 was when they officially opened their doors, and I was there mid-2024, like I said. So the Ritz Carlton, as I mentioned, is man-made. So what they've done is they've basically broken up the resort into 3 separate islands that are joined together by a giant bridge. And at one far end of the island, which I should be able to work this out, it would be the south side of the island. So it runs kind of south-north, which is deliberately done, obviously, so you can have east or sunset and sunrise facing villas. So on the very, very south side, they've got all of their facilities. So your kids club, your water sports club, sports activities, tennis court, gym, all that kind of stuff is down there. Then there's this long stretch of beach villas And they've all got pretty good sand for a man-made place. Like there's nice open stretches of beaches. And then it goes all the way up. It's a long ride, a lot of villas. And then you get to a middle island, which is kind of the eating central hub area. So it's kind of where you'll land. And then you've got a bunch of restaurants, the big main pool, like the shared pool experience. That's a kind of a smallish island, and there's a bridge over to the north side where you've got a whole bunch more beach villas. And on the very, very end of the North Island, you then hit the jetty, which is this huge ring, like a big ring of overwater villas that surround a central spa. That's kind of more or less the layout. And you've got, I think it's 3 other man-made islands just in the vicinity, one of which they're still developing. It's going to be another big resort. One of which is called the Fari Islands Marina, I think it is. And you can just get free ferries to and from them, and you can go there. There's some more places to eat, and other pools, things like that. And then obviously you got the Ritz Carlton, and I think the 4th island might be to do with staff, but yeah. So that's kind of the way the whole thing's set up. So it's very deliberate. Now everything in there is super, super new. Really, really new. It feels really modern. It doesn't feel very kind of like island chic or anything like that. They haven't dressed it up to try and look like, the traditional owners style huts or anything like that. It's like European modern elegance. It's come straight out of Germany. They basically brought each of them, just went bang, 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 dropped them on pillars on the reef, right? So that's good in a way. So what you're losing in character, you're gaining in ultra luxury. And the place that we stayed was the 2-bedroom one, 2-bedroom overwater villa. Is one of the best rooms I've ever been in my life. It was just like beautiful. Everything was fantastic. The aircon was fantastic. Modern facilities, run everything by iPad, buttons for everything. There's a big kind of like bar set up in there. So much space, sun lounges, infinity pool. It's probably about 15 meters long, and you can just jump straight off into the ocean. It was amazing. It was really, really good. So that is kind of and I went and inspected some of the beach villas because I was there as media. So they let me go see a few different places. And the beach villas, obviously not over water, but they're still just as beautiful. And I've done separate videos just showing those off, which you can check out on the channel. So all really, really good. Now, the house reef, we're on the sunrise side. Look, it's lovely. It's a really easy snorkel. It's great. There's not much waves around or anything like that. And it's a bit exposed. It's kind of exposed to the wind a little bit, but yeah, you just kind of swim out. You see sharks, stingrays, fish and that, but it's not like, you're not really going up the end of an atoll and down into a big deep trench. It's not the house reef experience is what I'm trying to say. Not shabby, but as I'll go into, nowhere near as good as the St Regis. Still fun, still absolutely fun to do. With the kids, it was interesting because the kids club was really, really lovely and nice. They'd done it up like kind of like a house from Lord of the Rings, like a Hobbit house. They had the tennis court, a games room, volleyball stuff, everything like that. All the facilities are top-notch, brand new, really good condition. Kind of well placed to maximise access and stuff like that. But there wasn't that many kids because not many of the rooms are really set up for families. So obviously the 2-bedroom one is, and there's 5 of us. But most of the rooms have just got the king, and then maybe you can fit in 1 trundle or something like that. So not awfully well set up for heaps of kids to be there, and we didn't see heaps of kids. So the kids, they tend to be very young kids, the type of kids that you can just put in a cot or in a bed, rather than our kids who were 8, 10 and 12 or whatever. So that's something to note, I think, for families. It's great for families. I had a really, really good time, and especially when we did stuff like fishing trips and snorkeling tours and things like that. They were fantastic. But potentially not perfectly suited to kids. The food on the Ritz Carlton was brilliant. some of the nicest food I've ever eaten. All the restaurants hit the mark. The Japanese teppanyaki was incredible. They've got a Chinese restaurant there. I think it's called, what's it called? My memory's going to fail me now. Sunset or something like that? Sunrise? No, I don't think it's that. Anyway, it's really, really, really amazing. The best dumplings I think I've ever had. The buffet breakfast was fantastic. The service was fantastic. All that stuff was great. One of my biggest downsides was, however, that the journey was so long. So if you want to go from one side of the island to the other, it's quite a pedal. They give you bikes, so you can just ride, but it is a long distance. Now you can just order a cart whenever you want, and that's they turn up as quick as they possibly can. They're not trying to hold you back or anything like that. Like I said, the service is excellent, but you still, if you want to get on your bike and ride, to get from the overwater villas all the way down to the kids club, for example, is a ride that does get tiring over time. So because it's long and it's thin and it's spread out the way it is, you then end up doing a lot of travelling back and forth to the various places you want to. So that's kind of the Ritz Carlton's pros and cons, right? Now, with the St Regis, like I said, this is a natural island. So the difference isn't noticeable straight away. While the Ritz Carlton does have, plentiful trees, like full-size palms and everything like that, the St Regis is kind of like it's a thick and a jungle-y style feel to it. Lots of shade, lots of shadow, more naturally likely to block the wind and get you out of the heat and insulate you from any rain and stuff like that. It's just that more natural, more dense. The beaches are beautiful, a bit more wave action. There's more waves rolling in. It's less kind of like deliberately chosen for a resort, and that gives it more character. That character also comes across into the rooms. So the rooms are like more of that kind of island hut look. So even some of the architecture on St Regis is absolutely stunning, like some of the facility rooms, like the library and the shop, the incredible whale bar, which just is one of the best places I've ever had a drink in my life. It's just like it's a bar built the size of a blue whale when you go through its stomach and then kind of sit in its mouth, gazing at the sunset. It's just spectacular. The spa, which is like in the shape of a lobster and has this incredible kind of pool, or I think it's called a blue hole experience, which you can go and kind of like have a spa bath in seawater, is amazing. So the architecture side of things is really, really good. And some of the overwater villas that are the kind of multi-room ones are built like some of the old traditional fishing ships, like they're built in that kind of form. There's a restaurant there called the Cargo Bar, and the cargo ship in the bar is from the Titanic. So just really cool little touches like that. So architecturally, and just in terms of a bit of backstory and that sort of things, the St Regis definitely wins out because it's got more character. But the flip side of that is it's older, it's more run down. You know, the floor kind of creaks in weird ways, shingles are falling off the roof, doors are jammed because they've swollen, been a bit more weather affected, right? So as a result, you've got this, pros and cons there. So if you want it's not as modern and as instantly luxurious as the Ritz Carlton, but by the same token, it's got more character. So you're just going, like the doors wouldn't quite close properly to the outside, more sound gets in. Still luxury, still beautiful, still extremely comfortable and amazing, but that's the difference. The St Regis is a much smaller island. So less people, very circular. So you basically land and it's just a circle road that goes around, and in the middle are some of the facilities like the kids club, which again is great. There's plenty going on. There's a gym, there's a tennis court, there's they grow their own crops there, and there's the kids club and that, but it's nowhere near as modern as what's at the Ritz Carlton. It's a little bit isolated. Again, not too many kids going around this particular resort, so it didn't become like a central place to go to for the kids. And then there's this ring road that goes around, and you've basically got beach villas and overwater villas going around it, and you've got the wharf that goes out with all overwater villas. But because it's more circular and it's more tight and it's more small, it's more intimate. So you feel like you get to know everybody. You feel like it's more of a bespoke experience. And if you want to go from A to B, it's a short ride. It's easy to get around. So as a result, that's a very big difference between the two. Food-wise, still excellent. Still a really good experience. We ate some great food. What was that place we ate? Arabec, I think it was. Was that it? I have to look at my full review, sorry. It was amazing. The food's really good, but I'll give Ritz Carlton the nod when it comes to food. They're both fantastic, but the Ritz Carlton has the nod. In terms of just the house reef, the St Regis was excellent. You can literally just jump off the beach, swim out, and all of a sudden you're at the edge of the reef. And I saw giant barracudas and turtles and eagle rays and sharks galore, and it was just awesome. So the snorkeling experience is far better at St Regis as well. And like I said, it's got kind of those kind of interesting, quirky touches with the architecture that just kind of, there's just little character details everywhere. The buffet breakfast at the St Regis is worth noting as well, because you can have Bloody Marys and mimosas or champagne with your breakfast as much as you want, which Ritz Carlton doesn't do. And considering how expensive alcohol is in the Maldives, and just how nice it is to be able to wake up in the morning and just have a mimosa, I think that's a big plus for them as well, and something to consider. Now, in terms of getting to and from, it's a boat from Malé, the capital, to the Ritz Carlton. It's a seaplane to the St Regis, but the prices aren't too different. The Ritz Carlton is a lot cheaper. They're both enormously expensive. I think it was like $5,000 for us to fly to Mali to St Regis with the 5 of us. Something like that. It's something outrageous. That's the Maldives. And I think maybe the boat to the Ritz Carlton was $4,000. So it's still super expensive, but a little bit cheaper. So that potentially could also give you the nod, depending on the package you get like that as well. But ultimately, I can't imagine anyone's not going to really enjoy both resorts. We had a fantastic time at both. So I think if you're looking for the absolute latest and modern luxuries, beautiful new facilities, a great food experience, and you're not overawed by the distances or anything like that, then or that kind of natural island side of things, then the Ritz Carlton's potentially one that you'll find better. If you're looking for a more intimate relationship with the staff and the experience and the other guests, a smaller footprint to go around, so less kind of to explore but easier to get around, and that great house reef experience, then the St Regis probably wins out, even if the rooms aren't quite as just, you know, well, good quality as in the current way it stands. You know, they're just older and they're just a little bit more run down. So anyway, I hope that's helped you make your decision. You're not going to lose out either way you go. You're going to have a fantastic time. The Maldives was one of the best experiences I've ever done. And those 2 resorts, two of the best resorts I've ever done. But yeah, that should hopefully help you discern between which one of the 2 you'd like to go from someone who's actually just done it for real, in the real world. Anyway, that's it for me. Please do check out those longer videos and get right in depth, because you'll find out everything you want to know. I show everything there is. Like they're like the most in-depth videos you'll ever find. But for right now, I'm going to get back on the road. I'm Chris Stead. Thank you very much for watching. See you later. You.